imagine for a second that you are 22 years old. You are standing at the absolute undisputed peak of your industry.
Right, which is basically a miracle in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And you've just come off this monumental, like record-shattering success. I mean, a project that pulled in a staggering 1,200 crores globally.
That is just, it's an insane amount of leverage. At that point, everyone, and I mean everyone, wants a piece of you.
Totally. You literally have 23 massive guaranteed success job offers sitting on your desk. You've got A-list directors, unlimited budgets, and virtually zero risk.
Sounds like a dream scenario.
Right. So if you are in that position, what do you do?
Well, I mean, if you're following literally any conventional business playbook in existence, you take the biggest offer, you cash the massive check, and you just cement your dominance in the space you've just conquered.
Yeah.
You don't mess with the winning formula.
Right. You take the easy layup. But what if instead you look at those 23 offers and you just say no to every single one of them?
Oh, wow. Just a blanket refusal.
Yeah. What if you decide to throw out the entire established industry playbook, risk 2.5 years of your life, and commit to this unprecedented 750 crore budget on a single, completely unproven gamble?
I mean, on paper, it sounds exactly like professional suicide. Like, why would anyone do that?
Exactly.
But as we're going to explore today, it was actually the blueprint for a complete revolution in the Indian film industry. So our mission for this deep dive is to unpack Chapter 13 of our source material, The Alliance That Would Shake the World. We are dissecting the anatomy of a decision that redefined an entire cultural landscape.
Which is such a massive topic.
It really is. We're looking at how this wild combination of high-stakes business strategy, intense artistic devotion, and honestly, just sheer audacity forged the Baahubali alliance.
And the setting where this all begins is incredibly cinematic in its own right. Like, we have to set the stage here.
Yeah, paint the picture for us.
So, our protagonist is Anant. He's fresh off that massive 1,200 crore success of MS Dhoni, which makes him the most sought-after star in India. But right now, he's not in some glamorous Mumbai studio.
Where is he?
He's sitting in a tiny room above the Sharma family restaurant in Chandni Chowk, Delhi.
Wow, okay. That is a contrast.
Yeah, you've got the evening temple bells ringing outside, the chaotic city noise filtering through the window. But Anant is completely deaf to all of it. He is basically paralyzed by this 700-page script on his lap.
Right, because he's just finished reading the script for Baahubali, which was pitched by the visionary Telugu director S.S. Rajamouli.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating here is his immediate visceral reaction to it.
How so?
Well, think about it. At this level of stardom, every decision usually goes through a massive filtering process, right?
Yeah.
You've got agents, managers, risk analysts.
Well, totally. A whole army of people telling you what to do.
Exactly.
Right.
But Anant doesn't wait for his team to analyze it. He doesn't even sleep on it. It's nearly 10 p.m., and he just picks up the phone and directly calls his producer and mentor, Ronnie Screwvala.
Which totally baffles Ronnie. I mean, Anant has been rejecting every safe commercial project for 4 months at this point.
Ronnie must have been so confused.
Oh, completely. He's probably wondering, like, what kind of script finally broke the streak? And then Anant tells him he's committing to a Telugu mythology epic.
Yeah, and Ronnie's initial reaction is just pure, cold business logic.
Yeah.
He immediately brings up the opportunity cost,
Which makes sense for a producer.
Right. He points out that in the 2.5 years Anant will spend locked into this one incredibly demanding project, he could easily make 4 or 5 standard commercial films.
Easily.
He could earn over 100 crores in personal fees alone, plus diversify his portfolio across different directors and genres. Putting all your resources into one regional director's passion project just seems completely absurd to a veteran Mumbai studio executive.
It's like you've just won the U.S. Open in tennis, right? And instead of defending your title and taking the guaranteed millions in endorsements, you announce you're taking 3 years off to invent a brand new sport that nobody has ever played before.
That is a perfect analogy. It goes against all conventional career logic.
But Anand has this terrifying level of absolute certainty about it. He tells Ronnie, this is about legacy, not transaction.
That is a bold line.
It is. And he doesn't even negotiate his payment. In fact, he goes a step further and guarantees Ronnie that his own VFX company, Maya VFX, is going to co-produce.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, we have to look at why a seasoned, highly successful producer like Ronnie actually listens to him. Why not just talk him off the ledge?
Yeah, why did he listen?
Well, this isn't just some actor throwing a creative tantrum. Anant has a meticulously analytical, IIT-trained mind. He doesn't just call up and say, hey, I feel good about this.
He's bringing the receipts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He tells Ronnie, the story architecture is sound. The character arcs are mathematically compelling. Rajamouli's vision is clear and structurally achievable. So for Ronnie, seeing this level of unprecedented passion from someone who normally engineers his career with such cold precision, that passion is the ultimate proof of concept, Ronnie realizes that if Anant is willing to bet his entire reputational capital on this, there's something massive beneath the surface.
So because Anant manages to convince Ronnie, he now has to move up the food chain, right?
The bosses.
Yeah. The two of them have to convince the massive distributors who actually hold the purse strings, which leads directly to his next call, this time to Vijay Oberoi at Foxstar.
And this is where the industry paradigm truly starts to fracture. When Vijay answers the phone, he's actually relieved at first.
Oh, he thinks it's a yes to a normal movie.
Yeah, he thinks Ant is finally going to sign with one of the big Bollywood giants like Dharma Productions or Yash Raj Films. I mean, there were even rumors that Karan Johar was developing something specifically tailored for him. So when Anant says, actually, I'm doing a Telugu film with S.S. Rajamouli, Vijay is just in shock. We have to remember the context of the industry at that time. The regional stigma was a very real thing.
Oh, absolutely.
You simply didn't cross over from the absolute peak of Bollywood stardom to regional South Indian cinema. It was widely perceived as a step down, like a demotion in prestige.
But Anant just completely shuts that down. He tells Vijay, Bollywood versus regional is outdated thinking. He envisions this as a Lord of the Rings scale pan-Indian event.
So ambitious.
But wait, I have to push back here because this is wild to me. How does a 22-year-old actor have the audacity and honestly the strategic vocabulary to just school a veteran Foxstar executive on macroeconomics and industry paradigms?
It's such a great question, and it really gets to the crux of Anant's evolution here. He's shifting from a student actor to a visionary power player.
Sure.
He is leveraging his 1,200 crore track record from MS Dhoni. That success gave him immense capital, both literal financial weight and reputational leverage. It allowed him to force Mumbai executives to see beyond their traditional geographical borders.
Ah, so the numbers gave him a seat at the adult table.
Exactly. He isn't just selling them on the art, he's presenting a highly concrete business strategy. He explains that they are going to execute a simultaneous 5-language release: Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, and Kannada.
And a simultaneous 5-language release isn't just about printing different posters. Like, the logistics of that are a total nightmare.
A nightmare.
Usually when a film is dubbed, it feels like an afterthought, right? The lip sync is off, the dialogue sounds cheesy, and the audience can totally tell they're watching a cheap import.
Exactly. And Anant knows that. So he outlines a plan for top-tier, culturally nuanced dubbing.
Not just a direct translation.
Right. They aren't just directly translating words.
Mm.
They are adapting the poetry and the emotion for each specific region. So a viewer in Mumbai feels it was made for Hindi audiences, just as much as a viewer in Hyderabad feels it's a Telugu film.
That's brilliant.
He is systematically obliterating the regional ceiling by turning a single film into a continent-wide event. He famously tells Vijay, I'm not betting, I'm building.
Not betting, I'm building. Man, that line alone is incredible. But, talk is cheap.
Sure is.
To actually invest the hundreds of crores required to build this thing, Ronnie and Vijay need to see if Rajamouli's reality on the ground in the South actually matches Anant's massive promises in the North. So they have to make the journey to Hyderabad.
Right. And 4 days later, they land in Hyderabad. And the visual contrast of this arrival is so striking.
Oh, I bet.
You have Ronnie and Vijay, representing Mumbai money and corporate strategy, showing up in their formal business suits with legal teams and briefcases.
Right, all buttoned up.
And leading them is Anant, the biggest star in the country, just wearing a simple, casual kurta. They drive to film Nagar, specifically to Archimede Works.
Which is this incredibly modest, highly functional 3-story building. It's not some sprawling, flashy Mumbai studio complex with golf carts and vanity vans.
No, not at all.
I just love the irony of this setting. You have this completely unassuming office space, and inside its walls, they are about to unleash an ambition that will literally shake the world of cinema.
And what happens the moment they walk into the conference room sets the tone for the entire multi-year alliance. The room is filled with the absolute titans of South Indian cinema.
Who's in there?
You've got S.S. Rajamouli, his wife and brilliant costume designer Rama Rajamouli, his legendary screenwriter father K.V. Vijayendra Prasad, and the newly cast antagonist Sudheer Babu.
Talk about a heavy-hitting room.
Yeah. And Anant walks into this room and immediately greets everyone in grammatically flawless Telugu.
Which is crazy because he had been studying the language for 4 hours a day just for this introductory meeting.
Right. And you have to understand why this matters so deeply. It instantly bridges the cultural gap.
Because usually Mumbai stars can be a bit arrogant.
Exactly. Historically, Mumbai stars dropping into regional cinema carried a certain attitude of swooping in to extract value. By speaking their language, Anant proves he isn't a tourist. He is someone deeply respectful of their ecosystem and their culture.
That's a huge sign of respect.
It establishes profound trust immediately. If you map out the room at that moment, you have a literal triangle of power.
Okay, break that down for me.
At one point, you have the Mumbai financial strategy with Ronnie and Vijay.
Yeah.
At another point, you have the creative genius of the South Rajamouli Rama Vijayendra Prasad. And at the third point, tying it all together, you have the physical execution, Anant and Sudheer.
I see. So mutual respect is established, the atmosphere is warm, everyone is on the same page, and then Rajamouli fires up the presentation and reveals the concept art for the Kingdom of Mahishmati.
The big reveal. Yeah. We're talking massive waterfalls, ancient towering cities, unprecedented mythological grandeur. The executives are absolutely blown away by the vision, but then they have to confront the terrifying financial reality of what it actually costs to build that world.
This is the definitive sticker shock moment.
Uh-oh.
Rajamouli originally estimated this two-part epic would cost around 250 to 300 crores. But once Anand's expanded pan-Indian marketing strategy and his massive technical demands are factored in, Ronnie lays out the newly calculated projection, which is 750 crores.
Wait, 750 crores? That is a 500 crore jump.
Massive.
You don't just find 500 crores in the couch cushions, you know. The room goes dead silent. Even Rajamouli himself is in shock. It becomes the largest budget in Indian film history by a massive margin.
Huge margin, yeah.
How did Anant possibly justify adding 500 crores to the budget? Like, is this just a reckless gamble at this point? It definitely looks reckless, but it's highly calculated. The extra 500 crores is going toward two major things: scaling the physical sets so they don't look like cheap CGI, and completely overhauling the technical pipeline.
Okay.
But Anant also brings a brilliant logistical strategy to the table to make that number viable. They aren't shooting two separate films sequentially, which is the standard practice. They're shooting both parts of Baahubali simultaneously.
Okay, I see. By doing that, they save a fortune in redundant costs. You build the massive kingdom sets once, you mobilize the thousands of crew members once, you secure the locations once.
Exactly. The simultaneous shoot saves an estimated 250 crores alone.
That's huge.
It is. But the real game changer is how they handle the post-production. The scale of Baahubali requires thousands upon thousands of highly complex VFX shots, rendering massive armies, waterfalls, and crumbling statues.
Which usually costs a fortune.
Normally, Indian studios would have to outsource that volume of data to international VFX houses in Los Angeles or London, which would have bankrupted the project entirely.
Right, because shipping hard drives of uncompressed digital assets globally and paying international rates for rendering is astronomically expensive.
Which is where Anant's company, Maya VFX, steps in. Maya VFX had developed proprietary compression algorithms.
What does that mean exactly?
To put it simply, they figured out a way to reduce the digital weight of these massive mythological assets without losing any of the intricate detail. This meant they could render these gigantic battle scenes efficiently on local servers domestically.
Oh, wow. Saving them tons of money.
Yep. And furthermore, they partnered with Dolby to introduce Dolby Vision HDR cameras to the project.
And this isn't just about having the newest, shiniest cameras, right? Because I was reading about this, and it seems like it fundamentally changed the look of the film.
It fundamentally changed the color science. Anant explains to the executives that these specific filters and Dolby HDR setups are optimized precisely for Indian lighting, Indian skin tones, and Indian aesthetic preferences.
Which is huge, because a lot of Western fantasy films have that, desaturated, gritty, almost gray look.
Precisely. Hollywood fantasy is often muted. But Indian mythology is vibrant. It's rich golds, deep reds, bright silks. They needed technology that could capture that authenticity without looking garish.
That makes total sense.
By combining the in-house Maya VFX efficiency with the simultaneous shooting schedule and the specialized Dolby tech, they are basically attempting a Lord of the Rings level epic scope at less than half the Hollywood budget. Yes, they are spending 750 crores, but Ronnie conservatively projects that if the pan-Indian strategy works, they will see a 2,000 crore return worldwide.
Wow. So after dropping a 750 crore bomb in the boardroom, you'd think the tension would carry over to the celebratory dinner that night. But instead, the narrative gracefully shifts from macro-level corporate billions to a remarkably quiet, deeply human conversation.
It really is a beautiful pivot.
Yeah.
At dinner, Sudheer Babu, who has just been cast as the primary antagonist, sits next to Anant. And Sudhir is genuinely baffled.
Why?
He turns to Anant and asks, "Why did you recommend me for this role? We've never even met before today. You had no obligation to help my career."
And Anant's response is so revealing about how his mind works. He tells Sudhir straight up that he didn't do it out of charity or goodwill. He did it out of pure artistic necessity.
Right.
He had watched Sudhir in a film called Boggy and saw this nuanced, highly intelligent menace in his performance. But more importantly, he saw a guy who really knows how to fight on a technical level. Anant needed a formidable opponent.
It's a profound, creative, and moral decision. Anant tells Sudhir, "I need an opponent worthy of the hero."
Which is so crucial for an action movie.
The logic is simple but brilliant. If Baahubali just beats up a weak, one-dimensional, sluggish villain, the hero's ultimate victory means absolutely nothing.
You don't feel the stakes.
Exactly. The audience won't feel the triumph. He needs someone who can genuinely threaten him on screen, physically and psychologically. And there's this wonderful athletic symmetry between the two actors. Sudhir comes from a rigorous background in competitive badminton and Kalaripayattu.
And for those who might not know, Kalaripayattu is an ancient Indian martial art. It's incredibly acrobatic, very weapon-heavy with swords and shields, and requires immense flexibility and core strength.
Exactly. And Anant himself comes from a background of competitive cricket and Kalaripayattu. They both intimately understand the intense discipline required to push past physical exhaustion.
It makes me think of a world-class tennis player prepping for the Wimbledon final. If you have the power to handpick your practice rival, you don't pick an amateur just so you can win easily and boost your ego.
Definitely not.
You pick the person who has the exact skill set to utterly destroy you on the court. You do that because you know you can only access your absolute best form if the person across the net is pushing you to your absolute limit.
That's a great way to look at it.
At that dinner, Anand and Sudhir promised to bring an athletic mindset to their acting. They literally promised to bring war to the screen.
Bring war. It's a chilling commitment. But, as we know, talk is cheap at a dinner party. With the massive corporate contracts signed and the creative relationships forged, all that remains is the agonizing physical reality of what they've actually committed to.
Yeah, let's talk about that reality. Because before the cameras even roll, Rajamouli hits Anant with a punishing 6-month roadmap just to prepare his body and mind.
It is brutal. By any standard, we're talking 4 to 6 hours of training a day, 6 days a week.
Good grief.
Yeah. The first 2 months are dedicated solely to intensive weight training and a complete nutritional restructuring to build the sheer mass required for a mythological king. Then they layer on complex combat choreography and heavy weapon training. Then deep psychological character development.
That sounds exhausting.
And all of this is happening while Anant is still maintaining 4 hours a day of intensive Telugu language coaching. It's a full-time job of systematically breaking down the human body and mind only to rebuild it.
And Vijay, the Foxstar executive, being the good, accommodating producer he is, offers to set Anant up in a luxury 5-star penthouse in Hyderabad for those 6 months.
Makes sense.
It's standard practice for a star of his caliber, but Anant turns him down flat.
This is one of the most telling details we've discussed today. Anant insists on a very modest, simple apartment. He tells Vijay, "Simplicity helps me focus. Less distraction, more discipline."
Wow.
He specifically coins the phrase athlete monk. He says he needs to live like an athlete monk for 6 months, not a pampered superstar. He wants to buy his own groceries, cook his own measured meals, and maintain total control over his daily routines.
I have to play devil's advocate for a second here.
Sure.
Turning down a penthouse to cook your own chicken and rice, is there a chance this is just him being a bit of a prima donna, like playing the tortured artist to prove a point to the director?
It's a fair question. But if you look at the psychology of high performance, it's actually the opposite of a prima donna move. A prima donna demands things that make their life easier. Anant is demanding an environment that makes his life harder, but sharper. By stripping away the luxury, the room service, the entourage, he is eliminating decision fatigue. He understands that the 750 crores, the Dolby Vision cameras, the brilliant pan-Indian marketing, None of it matters if the physical and emotional truth of the character isn't genuinely felt on screen. If he feels pampered off-screen, he will look soft on screen.
That is a fascinating mindset.
He demands that Rajamouli push him past his limits, famously telling the director, "Make me earn Baahubali."
Make me earn Baahubali. So what does this all mean when we zoom out? The image that really sticks with me from everything we've looked at today is the flight home to Mumbai.
It's a great image.
You have Ronnie and Vijay, these veteran, seasoned executives sitting in first class, quietly sweating bullets over the fact that they just bet 750 crores on a Telugu mythology film. It is a terrifying amount of money to be responsible for.
Terrifying.
And then they look over at 22-year-old Anant. He's not celebrating the massive budget he secured. He's not panicking about the risk. He is just sitting there quietly making detailed notes in the margins of his script, deep into his character exploration. He treats these totally impossible, world-shaking standards as basic, everyday expectations.
It perfectly summarizes the massive cultural shift we've analyzed today. I mean, a single 10 p.m. phone call completely shattered the rigid, decades-old wall between Bollywood and regional cinema.
It really did.
It secured a record-breaking 750 crore budget, integrated world-class proprietary VFX technology that changed how Indian films are lit and rendered, and set a young actor on a 6-month path of monastic, brutal discipline.
It's just wild.
But if we bring this back to you, the listener, the ultimate takeaway here is about the relationship between risk and preparation. We often think that building a legacy is just about taking one big leap of faith.
Right, like that one magical moment.
Exactly. But Anant could have taken those 23 guaranteed hits. He took the leap instead.
Yeah.
But the leap wasn't the work. True legacy is built on the meticulous, agonizing preparation you put in after you've taken the massive risk. The risk is just the entry ticket. The daily, unglamorous discipline is what actually builds the empire.
It's exactly like the tennis analogy. You don't just schedule the match against your toughest rival and expect the trophy. Scheduling the match just means you now have to train harder than you ever have in your life.
Spot on.
It leaves us with a really provocative thought to chew on. When Anant rejected the safety of his peak stardom for the brutal, stripped-down discipline of an athlete monk, it suggests something profound about success itself. Does true creative genius require us to actively strip away our own comfort? If you were handed the undisputed crown of your industry today, would you have the courage to hand it back for the chance to build a whole new kingdom?